middle of a street. I said, you need to get up.
Right now at 6, a bodyguard for San Francisco's mayor injured in a confrontation with a man in the Tenderloin. New witness video of the scuffle and what the mayor said today about it. Plus, a Lake County community still struggling 2 months after a sewage spill flooded their neighborhood.
We just want to change the name from Robin Lane to Caca Lane.
The mess that has neighbors borrowing buckets of water just to flush their toilets. And more families reunited at SFO after the Iran war left Americans stranded across the Middle East.
Everybody ran to the bunkers. That's when we knew it was real.
How a tour group visiting Jerusalem finally made it back to the Bay Area. And later, using AI to detect and fight wildfires, we'll meet the South Bay high schoolers competing against tech companies and defense contractors for an $11 million prize.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us at 6. San Francisco's mayor speaking out today about a physical confrontation between one of his bodyguards and a man on the street. It happened around this time yesterday in the Tenderloin. Da Lin has a look at witness videos of the scuffle and heard from the mayor today.
The violent confrontation happened right here next to several businesses. Neighbors say it's common. What's different this time, they say, it involved the mayor. A shove, then a body slam, all part of a fight between San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie's bodyguard and a man. This happened just after 5:30 on Thursday evening in the Tenderloin.
I saw two individuals in the middle of a street, not on the sidewalk, but literally in the middle of a street, and I was worried about them, and I was worried about, safety of pedestrians and cars coming. So I stopped. We asked them to get up. And then the incident began.
It's unclear what was said. The guard, who is also a San Francisco police officer, forcefully shoved the man backward, knocking him off his feet. A second video shared by Mission Local picks up after, as the two are seen struggling. The man slams the guard to the ground. The mayor, who was standing nearby, is seen walking away.
I didn't walk away. I went to get the other member of my detail. I travel with two officers. The car was up about 20 yards up, so I went to get him.
Responding officers arrested two people. They say 44-year-old Tony Phillips is the man seen in the confrontation with the bodyguard. This is an old mugshot from 2019 when Phillips was arrested on suspicion of murder. Investigators believe he stabbed and killed a man, but the district attorney at the time did not charge him, citing lack of evidence. Street ambassadors and nearby business owners tell me they recognize Phillips as someone who spends a lot of time hanging out in this area.
We're just used to it. I mean, I don't know what we make of it or don't make of it. It's just the way the conditions are down here.
Amanda Michael owns a coffee shop next to the intersection. She says fights are pretty common. She hopes the mayor, after this experience, will do even more to clean up the streets.
Just ask that, the work continue in terms of trying to figure out how to mandate treatment for more people or get treatment to more people. And hopefully to not enable the drug use as much as we do.
Mayor Lurie agrees, saying businesses and families are the ones who deal with it every day.
People have a lot of struggles on the street. That's why I've been so adamant on that we have to get people off the street and into behavioral health beds, into recovery beds. The street is not safe for those people, and it's not safe for our families.
As for the bodyguard, he suffered injuries to the back of his head.
The officer is doing well. He sustained an injury to the head, and I want to thank him. I want to thank my entire detail.
The district attorney says her office will make a charging decision on Monday. Right now, Phillips is detained on suspicion of assaulting a peace officer and other violations.
There's also been an arrest in another shocking attack in the city. Surveillance video captured a suspect stabbing a man in the back in Chinatown yesterday in broad daylight. And a warning, the video may be disturbing. It happened just after 1 p.m. by the intersection of Stockton and Sacramento streets. You can see someone in dark clothing just walk up and strike the victim in the back as he was standing on the sidewalk. Police say they arrested someone matching the suspect's description a few blocks away. The victim went to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Police have not released any updates about his condition or any information about the suspect or a possible motive. Calls are growing to return a Hayward mother and her 2 young children home. Their lawyer says they were deported to Colombia just 3 days after being arrested by immigration officials in San Francisco. Leslie Rodriguez Gutierrez was going in for a scheduled check-in on Tuesday when she and her children, ages 4 and 6, were taken by ICE agents. She does not have a criminal record. Before today, her lawyer said he had no idea the family was already deported without due process. He says what ICE is doing is inhumane.
It feels intentional that this information is withheld from us and that we are led astray at every point about the actual whereabouts of people who have been detained.
Joining the calls to bring the family back home are advocates for the hearing impaired. Gutierrez's 6-year-old son is deaf and didn't have his hearing aids with him at the time. We have reached out to ICE for comment. We are still waiting to hear back. Hundreds of neighbors in Lake County are still without clean water nearly 2 months after a sewage spill contaminated their aquifer. Now, it was back in mid-January that a sewage main broke in Clear Lake, sending a raw sewage flowing into roads and into homes. Our Brad Hamilton looks at how residents are adjusting to a new way of life and why it may be a long time before there's a real fix.
Robert Ruiz loves every square foot of his Clear Lake neighborhood. But at this moment, even he thinks that something stinks on the block.
We just want to change the name from Robin Lane to Caca Lane. They don't have a time period.
Robert and others on Robin Lane have gotten to know a lot more about what lives directly underneath them after a broken pipe sends sewage flowing through their properties in January. It's a mess that they're still dealing with weeks later. Robert says, for instance, the first 26 days, he had to lean on others for the basics, with no access to running water at his home, where his wife needs 24/7 care.
So I told my friend, hey, can I come by and get some buckets of water, 5 gallons, 4 of them, so I can flush my toilet bowl in the morning.
Others who could leave the house, like Mike Holland,
really getting tore up by all the trucks going in and out while the road was wet and muddy,
say that Clear Lake officials set up portable showers and bathrooms on the street for 3 weeks. Now, he says most of the neighborhood gets water delivered to their doorstep.
They have water tanker trucks, and they go down the road and they fill everybody's tanks when they need water.
The entire aquifer in the region was impacted, which means there's no easy fix. City officials estimate that about 165 wells are affected. 6 wells were cleared this week with the installation of pre-filtration and UV sanitation systems. UC Davis expert Thomas Harder believes that's the best place for the city to focus its attention at the moment, because full remediation of the aquifer itself could take years.
Groundwater is not a fast flow process. It's not like in most places, it's not like a river. I mean, there are a few places like caves and in volcanics and in karst systems, but mostly it's just like in your flower pot, it kind of moves slowly.
So for now, neighbors wait for their well upgrades. Robert isn't expecting his anytime soon.
You have to get on the list, to get on the list, to get on the list. And it's like, the whole neighborhood's infected.
All of it leaving residents on Robin Lane and other nearby neighborhoods stuck with a problem that is now more than a bad odor.
Couple weeks after the spill, the city and Lake County created a joint incident management team to oversee the recovery. Officials say so far the team has spent about $1.2 million, though that does not include the earlier costs incurred by the county before this team was formed. More emotional reunions today at SFO as passengers arrive from the Middle East, where the ongoing strikes forced the cancellation of thousands of commercial flights to and from the region. A church group from Salinas touched down at SFO this afternoon. They were on a faith trip in Jerusalem when the strikes started last weekend. They said the group was visiting the site of the October 7th attacks when they were first alerted of Iran's retaliatory strikes.
We got our alarms and our phones, everybody's phones went off. The bus driver right away started driving back, and he took us back to the hotel, and everybody ran to the bunkers. That's when we knew it was real.
The U.S. had announced a lot of things on social media, and they were telling U.S. citizens, go here, go there to get information on resources. But at that time, they were not formally evacuating people because we kept calling, we kept contacting via different means, and they were not evacuating people. They were telling us, get out any way you can through commercial means. So it was a big challenge.
Antonio also said he incurred more than $100 in fees for long-distance calls trying to get a flight out of the region. And stay with us for updates on this expanding war. You can follow us on the air or download the free CBS News app. A deadly crash in San Francisco. It happened last night. Police say a driver hit a pedestrian and a man on a scooter near Kearny and Broadway streets just before 11. Officers say the pedestrian died from their injuries and the scooter rider was rushed to a hospital but is expected to recover. Police say the driver is cooperating and investigators do not believe drugs or alcohol were involved. All right, let's take a live look at downtown Oakland, where First Fridays is back in action for the first time this year. And right now, people are gathering for the popular monthly festival. This is on Telegraph Avenue between West Grand and 27th Street. It is a chance for the community to come together and enjoy street food, music, and art. The last First Fridays festival was held in November. The free event runs until 9:30 tonight. And it comes as the city is putting an extra emphasis on safety in the area. It is boosting police presence on Friday and Saturday nights along Telegraph and Broadway. Street parking will also be limited and road barriers will be put up in hopes of stopping sideshows. The increased safety measures are expected to stay in place through the summer, but that will depend on community feedback. All right, still ahead here at 6, South Bay high schoolers helping create the future of fighting wildfires.
And every day I come to school and I'm like, well, just in a few hours, I'm going to be able to engineer something to, again, help out the world.
How their high-tech creation could win an $11 million prize.
And coming up in the forecast, it's nice out there today, but tomorrow is the peak of this warm-up. Some of us will be near 80. Some of the numbers on here are actually in question. San Francisco, I've got you at 75 tomorrow. You might outdo that. We'll talk about the likelihood of an 80-degree day in the city tomorrow. It's possible. I'll explain why. Forecast coming up after the break.
You're kidding. Wow. And later, say hello to the newest food delivery method in Fremont, created and assembled by hometown engineers. Pleasanton police are investigating 3 residential break-ins in just the last week. Officers say in 2 cases, the burglar attacked residents in their homes. One happened Wednesday around 8 p.m. on Moore Avenue. Police say a resident saw a suspect in his backyard. The suspect flashed a handgun and forced the man back inside. There, the suspect hit both the man and his wife before taking off. The other break-in happened February 27th on Hanson Drive. Police say a suspect pepper sprayed a teenager. Investigators believe at least some of the cases may be related. They are urging neighbors to activate alarm systems and keep doors and windows locked. All right, as we gear up for the start of wildfire season, some South Bay high school students have developed an AI-powered system that can detect and suppress wildfires within minutes. Mary Lee introduces us to the team that's competing against top AI and defense innovators for an $11 million prize.
I'm wiring together the stepper motors here to our stepper motor driver.
Joshua Guo knows all too well how devastating wildfires can be. He and his family were forced to evacuate when a fast-moving wildfire broke out dangerously close to his home.
We were collecting like suitcases, memories, like all the photo albums, everything we could salvage. And it was like in that moment, I was just thinking, like, is there really nothing I can do about this?
Joshua is part of the Valley Christian Wildfire Quest team, which just became a finalist in the $11 million X Prize Foundation Wildfire Competition.
In reality,
he's using his electrical engineering and software skills to come up with a solution that's never been done before, autonomously detecting and suppressing a potentially catastrophic wildfire within 10 minutes.
And every day I come to school and I'm like, well, just in a few hours, I'm going to be able to engineer something to, again, help out the world.
Their unique solution, mounting fire retardant balls on top of drones and then dropping them directly over the wildfire. They're using their own AI technology as well as partnering with the drone company Kaizen Aerospace and the AI-based fire detection company Sensory AI. Olivia Ahn is also on the team.
Essentially, there's a fuse around the ball, and inside there's a chemical fire suppressant powder that when the fuse is set off, when it lands in a fire, it basically explodes and chokes out the fire. The drone would fly out to the fire, detect the fire, and then drop these over the fire, and the fuse would set off, and bam, our fire would be suppressed.
Paul Doherty is with PG&E, a co-sponsor of the X Prize wildfire competition.
We just could not be more excited to see a team like them competing against some of the large defense contractors and other big corporations and organizations.
So you guys are learning the whole concept of product development before you even get out of high school, which is amazing.
Danny Kim is leading the Wildfire Quest team. He's proud and inspired to work with these bright young minds.
I would say the secret weapon we have with using high school kids is, yes, they're inexperienced, but that inexperience translates both to energy, enthusiasm, and creativity.
We're like still teenagers, still exploring like what means the most to us. I think this is where I really found it.
For Joshua, this is more than just a competition.
Because we want to make sure this lasts a long time.
It's his calling.
Anything that just helps.
Wow. The final round of testing will take place this summer in Alaska. Finalists must autonomously detect and fully suppress a wildfire across an area as large as the entire Bay Area within 10 minutes. The winner will be announced in September. All right, this time tomorrow, thousands of people will be lining the streets of downtown San Francisco and Chinatown for the annual Chinese New Year parade. And this year, it's the year of the fire horse. The parade starts at 5:15 p.m. tomorrow at 2nd and Market Streets. It loops around Union Square before ending in Chinatown. The parade is free, but you can buy tickets for bleacher seats online. Those spots are the yellow dots that you see right there on the map. All right, we'll be right back with a look at the warm weekend forecast. But first, here's tonight's Tahoe report.
Hey, Johnny Mosley here. The Toyota is loaded up and ready to carve some new lines. So let's see what Mother Nature cooked up for us, shall we? The Toyota Tahoe report is queued up. Let's take a look.
Well, March skiing in the Sierra and particularly the Tahoe Basin can be pretty nice if you hit it just right. Of course, there's no new snow here, but we've done such a good job of building a solid base this winter. Several major storm cycles earlier in the season. The thing to keep in mind is there is a bit of a freeze-thaw pattern taking place every day. So if you're able to get on the lifts early, I think you'll be happier with the conditions of the snow. From like, say, 9 a.m. through about 1 in the afternoon would really be the sweet spot. After that, direct sun hitting all of these resorts, you're going to get a bit slushy, particularly on those mid and lower elevation runs. It's going to be in the low 50s on Sunday up there. That's your Toyota Tahoe report.
It was a beautiful day for some pickleball. Why not? In Concord at the Willow Pass Courts. Hardly felt like late winter out there today. And meteorologist Darren Peck is here. Darren, we're in for a warm weekend.
Yeah. It might even almost be a little too warm for some of our microclimates tomorrow to be doing that in direct sun. Let me explain. The pattern for us right now is an impressive one from a wind and warm-up standpoint. Let's get a somewhat wider view. We are locked between two opposing forces right now. There's an area of low pressure that is set up inland from a cutoff low that never really developed into much. And at the same time over here, we've got an area of high pressure, a strong area of high pressure for this time of year that's developing in the Pacific. You've got descending air happening out here to our west. You've got rising air happening over here to the east. These are two opposing forces. We are trapped right in between the two right now. So the atmosphere is trying to compensate. It's trying to balance things out between this tug of war. What we end up feeling from that is a pretty strong surge of wind rushing in between these two. And if you look at the coast, in fact, I'll remove both of our high and low patterns. Just look at what's going on right where we are, right in the middle of those two. That is a very strong northerly flow, and that's what we've been feeling so far today. This is part of the pattern for why it was so windy today. It's particularly along the coast. And if you were not right along the coast, maybe you didn't feel a whole lot in terms of intensity from the wind. Let me show you how this is going to change, though. We're going to transition this so that we're going to advance this to tomorrow. And come take a look right here, because this is where you're really going to see the difference play out tomorrow. This is why we're going to warm up to near 80 potentially in the city tomorrow. We're going to advance the futurecast. Watch those streamlines right there. They're going to go to an offshore wind. You see that switch? That's going to happen overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. Let's go back out for a somewhat wider view now. When we get offshore winds like that, those offshore winds on the wider view really is what warms up the entire bay. But it can really have a big impact here in the city because you're so vulnerable now. You can completely lose all of the influence from the coast, which is what keeps San Francisco so much cooler than everybody else on a regular basis. If you get offshore winds and they're downsloping, that could really drive the numbers up. So while everybody's numbers are impressive, we're going to take a moment with San Francisco in a second. Numbers for Monterey Bay. Be in the low 70s in Monterey. Santa Cruz, you'll be right around 70, although if you get some downsloping winds off the Santa Cruz Mountains tomorrow, you might make it into the low and mid 70s there. San Jose's going to 76. You can see the Tri-Valley at 75. Let's pause for a moment here at San Francisco at 75 degrees. It's possible if those offshore winds have a little bit more of an influence, you could go towards 80. That's one to watch. And it's always a tough forecast in San Francisco because you are literally right on the line. It doesn't take much in terms of offshore winds to intensify just a bit to really blow a forecast and give you a day that's a bit warmer than you'd expected. So it could be a really nice Saturday in the city. All right, take a look up north. You don't need just the right amount of winds there in the North Bay. You're going to be going to a daytime high right around 79 for Santa Rosa. You'll be right near 80. So tomorrow is the peak. We then look at Sunday. The temperatures will drop a bit, but not much. And then we go into early next week. We will come back down into the mid and upper 60s. That's a little closer to average. And then we're just going to warm right back up again. Temperatures will start to climb back up to mid 70s. I don't think it'll be as warm as tomorrow, but it's still going to be about maybe 10 to 12 degrees above average for many of us again by the end of next week. All right, Juliet, back to you.
That explainer really helped. Thank you very much. I was wondering why we had so much wind today and not a lot tomorrow. Darren, thank you. When we come back, food delivery robots drawing some confused reaction from neighbors in Fremont.
It looks like a ladybug. Why is it blinking at me?
The experiment featuring robots created at a hometown facility. I can't wait to see this one. DoorDash delivery robots. They're making their debut in the city of Fremont. Right there.
A bug, but a robot. Robug. It's a robug. It looks like a ladybug. Does the top open like that?
I do like that name, Robug. The robots are known as Dots. They're designed and manufactured in the city. The Dots will go up to 16 miles per hour on bike lanes, 20 miles per hour along neighborhood streets, 5 miles per hour on sidewalks. Several residents have raised concerns, though, that the high speeds could be a safety hazard. Right now, just 3 robots will be making deliveries in the city. That number could go up to 30 if the program is successful.
We're starting small so that everybody has an opportunity to weigh in and let us know what they like, what they don't like, so that we can tweak the program.
They just want the food on time. The mayor also said the city can pull the plug at any point if they feel the tech is not working for them. All right, CBS EV News is next on KPIX. Local news continues on our streaming service, CBS News Bay Area. Back here in 30 minutes with CBS News Bay Area at 7. Don't forget to spring forward tomorrow night for daylight savings. Just a reminder.